Today, we're going to unlock one of the biggest secrets to making your English sound really natural, mastering prepositional collocations.
Welcome back to the Gist English Masterclass. It is so great to have you here. You know, I like to think of English as a giant puzzle, and today we're going to find a really important piece that helps everything else just click into place.
All right, let's jump right in with a little challenge. Which one of these sounds better to you? She is interested about classical music, or she is interested in classical music? Go on, which one just feels right?
If you picked interested in, you are absolutely correct. It just sounds right, doesn't it? But here's the million-dollar question for today's class. Why? Why do we use in and not about? Well, understanding that why is exactly what's going to help you sound so much more natural when you speak. So, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll figure out what collocations actually are. Then, we'll look at 3 really common types. We'll even dig into why they exist in the first place, share a great strategy for learning them, and finally, we'll fix some of the most common mistakes I hear. Okay, so first things first, what in the world are collocations? The easiest way to think about them is as the essential building blocks for natural-sounding English. So, a collocation, think of it like this. It's a couple of words that are just best friends. They're always hanging out together. For native speakers, using these pairs is totally automatic. Like you make a decision, you don't do a decision. These little word friendships are what we call collocations. And today, we're zeroing in on a really special type, prepositional collocations. This is just when a word, like a verb or an adjective, has a really strong habit of pairing up with one specific preposition. And the key thing to remember is, it's not really a strict grammar rule. It's more like a habit the language has picked up over time. So, these little word partnerships usually come in 3 common types. We're going to look at how verbs, adjectives, and nouns each have their own favorite preposition partners.
Okay, first up we have verb plus preposition. With these, the verb and the preposition are practically glued together. For instance, we always say depend on. You can depend on a friend, or a plan can depend on the weather. We never say depend of or depend from. It's just always on. Same thing with agree with someone, apologize for something, and believe in an idea.
And this is where it gets really cool. Just by switching the preposition, you can completely change a verb's meaning. Let's look at result. When you say something results in, you mean a cause leads to a consequence. But if you say it results from, it's the total opposite. The consequence comes first and you're explaining the cause. This is such a useful pair to get right.
Next up, we have adjective plus preposition. And hey, this is where our little quiz from the beginning fits in, right? Interested in. It's a fixed pair. And there are tons of others, like being afraid of spiders, being good at a skill, or being proud of someone. And last but not least, noun plus preposition. You might talk about the reason for a change or search for a solution to a problem. And here's a really cool trick. A lot of these noun pairings actually mirror the verb form. For example, if you react to something, you also have a reaction to it. See? Learning one can help you remember the other.
Okay, so right about now, you're probably asking the big question. Why? Why these words? It doesn't always seem to make sense, does it? Well, the answer isn't about logic. It's actually all about history.
The simple truth is, these pairings are basically historical accidents. Over hundreds and hundreds of years, as the English language grew and changed, certain word pairs just stuck. They became a habit. No committee decided interested must go with in. And that's exactly why you can't always translate prepositions directly from your own language.
All right, so if there's no magic rule, how in the world are you supposed to remember all of these? Don't you worry, I've got a fantastic strategy that makes it so much easier.
The secret is to learn them in chunks, not as single, separate words. So next time you learn a new word, look for its little preposition buddy. Don't just write depend in your notebook. Write the whole chunk, depend on. And then, this is the most important part, create your own example sentence. Your brain will remember a little story way better than a long list of words.
Okay, you ready to see this in action? Let's fix a couple of super common mistakes. Getting these right will make your English sound better instantly.
So, here's one I hear all the time, especially from learners whose own language works a little differently. They'll often say, "She is married with a doctor." But in English, that's a mistake.
The correct and natural chunk is always married to. She is married to a doctor. Just lock that phrase away in your brain. Married to someone. That's the one. Okay, here's another tricky one. The verb arrive. The right preposition actually changes depending on the place. You arrive in big places, like a city or a country, but you arrive at a specific spot, like the station or the airport. And for a little bonus tip, when you get home, you don't need any preposition. You just arrive home. Easy, right? All right, let's do a super quick recap of the most important things from today. Number 1, collocations are just words that have a habit of sticking together. 2, there are those 3 main types with verbs, adjectives, and nouns. 3, remember, they're here because of history, not logic, and maybe the most important takeaway of all, learn them in chunks. Okay, so now it's your turn. I have a little mission for you this week. As you're reading or listening to English, I want you to be a detective. Try to find 5 prepositional collocations. Write them down, and you'll start to see these patterns everywhere. And that's a wrap on today's masterclass. You did a fantastic job. Keep practicing, and I can't wait to see you in the next class.